Somewhere in a museum drawer right now, there's a 30,000-year-old human leg bone, and it's broken. Not broken like it happened, and the person died shortly after. Broken like it snapped, fully healed, and that person walked around on it for another 20 years. No hospital, no cast, no antibiotics, no x-ray, just a shattered femur in the middle of the Ice Age, and somehow someone lived. That shouldn't be possible. And yet, archaeologists keep finding this over and over again all over the world. Skeletons with catastrophic injuries that healed clean. So today, we're asking the question nobody seems to be asking loud enough. How did ancient humans survive injuries that would end most of us today, even with modern medicine sitting 5 minutes away? Let's start with the most famous case, a skeleton known as Shanidar 1, a Neanderthal who lived roughly 45,000 years ago in what's now Iraq. This guy was a walking disaster file: crushed eye socket, withered, useless arm, possibly amputated below the elbow, deafness, a leg injury that left him with a limp for life. Any one of these should have been fatal on its own back then. Getting a limp during the Ice Age wasn't an inconvenience. It was usually a death sentence, because a slower human is a human that predators, starvation, and exposure catch up to fast. But Shanidar 1 didn't die young. He lived for years, maybe decades, after these injuries, which means someone was feeding him, someone was protecting him, someone decided a broken, half-blind, one-armed group member was worth keeping alive. That's the first piece of the puzzle, and it's not medical at all. It's social. Ancient humans weren't surviving injuries because they had incredible medicine. They were surviving because they had incredible community. Healing a compound fracture with Stone Age tools is nearly impossible, but healing a compound fracture when 10 other people are bringing you food, water, and protection while you can't move? Suddenly, it's not a miracle, it's math. Now, here's where it gets stranger, because some of these healed injuries do show evidence of actual treatment. Splints made from wood and bark, wrapped tight enough to leave marks on the bone itself as it healed. Wound dressings using plants we now know have genuine antimicrobial properties, things like yarrow and certain tree resins. Trial and error, repeated across tens of thousands of years, quietly built something that functions almost exactly like a pharmacy, without a single written word explaining why any of it worked. And then there's trepanation, which sounds like something out of a horror movie. Ancient people using sharpened stone tools, deliberately drilling or scraping a hole into a living person's skull. You'd assume this killed everyone it touched. It didn't. Skulls have been found where the bone around the hole shows clear signs of healing, meaning the person survived the surgery, sometimes for years afterward. Nobody fully agrees on why they did this. Head trauma relief, ritual, maybe even something resembling early neurosurgery, but the survival rate alone tells you something wild. These weren't accidents that occasionally worked out. This was a repeated, refined, intentional practice. So put this all together. No germ theory, no anesthesia, no antibiotics. And yet, over and over, humans with injuries that should have killed them didn't. Not because ancient medicine was secretly advanced in the way we think of medicine today, but because survival was never really an individual sport. It was a group project. Every healed bone in the archaeological record isn't just proof of toughness. It's proof that someone, somewhere, refused to leave another person behind. Next time you get a paper cut and reach for a bandage without thinking twice, remember that instinct is ancient. It's been keeping our species alive for tens of thousands of years. One broken bone, one stubborn caretaker, one quiet act of loyalty at a time.